What's good, everybody? How we all doing? One Piece chapter 1084 is out. Both scan groups have dropped at the exact same time. I don't know how that's happened. Maybe they're working behind the scenes now, but yeah, TCB and OP scans both out. We're gonna be reading TCB first, but if there's something that spicy in there that we might want to take a look at different translations for, we'll peep OP scans as well. But how's everybody doing, man? We're eating good right now in One Piece. Last chapter, we just found out about the Holy Knights. All sorts of theories flying around based off of that. Still not even on Egghead, and the material still has been pretty fire. I will say I'm starting to miss the Straw Hats a little bit personally. That might not be true for everyone, but I would like to go back to the Straw Hats soon. But yeah. Where to read link? Wherever you usually read One Piece, bro. It's out like everywhere but the official. Didn't know chapter was out. It just came out, so we're up on it quick. Denver in 6. It's looking good for Denver, though it looked like the Lakers figured some stuff out there at the end. Celtics play tonight. I'm excited and nervous. Please stop spamming. If you spam, all that's gonna happen is you're gonna get put in timeout, brother. I can promise you the chapter is out. You go to TCB or OP scans, it's there. So that's what we gonna be doing. I already saw the title, which is the attempted murder of a celestial dragon. So it looks like we're building off of last chapter, which I think is right because it was kind of a tease, a little bit of a cliffhanger that we left on in terms of that storytelling from the Reverie. So I figured we definitely had to follow that up. I do wonder how much longer we go on this. It is kind of crazy, right? Like, this is easily like the longest we kind of been away from the Straw Hats. Like, it's been chapter after chapter that we're just focusing on other things. So like Oda's clearly just playing with the chessboard right now. You know what I'm saying? Do I think Boston can beat Jimmy Butler? Yeah, we did last year. Because we have a better team. And we still do. I think we have an even better team. Yes, Jimmy's crazy. Spolster's crazy. I have nothing but respect for the Heat. I'm terrified of those guys. But I think we have the better team. If we play up to our standards, we should win. But I'm interested to see how we come out and play this first game, because we have a tendency to let the rope go, as we've seen many, many times for the past 5 years with the Boston Celtics. Boston winning won't be easy. It's never easy with the Miami Heat. Never easy with Miami Heat. There's Khalil. Appreciate you posting the link there. TCB, it's also out on OP scans. You guys, you see OP scans in chat as well. It's out on both websites. We'll probably be checking out both just to see the translation differences, if there's any notable ones or anything. The Western Conference Finals has been great, man. The playoffs, this is one of the best NBA playoffs I've watched in a long time, man. It's been like, we got Curry Bron second round. Even the first round was fire with Jimmy going off. Denver Phoenix was a fun series. We went 7 with the Sixers. Even Knicks Heat was getting a little exciting there for a little bit. There's been a lot of fireworks this playoffs. It's been a lot of fun. Even the first round, Russell Westbrook was, cooking. Kawhi was cooking before like injuries came about and kind of ruined that series. But yeah, I expect the Western Conference Finals to be a good one. I'm rooting for the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets should win. But the Lakers crawled back. Last game, they figured something out there by taking Davis off of Jokic, because Jokic is going to cook anyways, and putting Hachimura on him, and putting Davis out with Gordon, who can't hit a three-point shot to save his life and was just chilling in a dunker spot, so kind of clogging up the paint. So I don't know what that tactic was. Lakers definitely figured something out there, but we'll see how each team adjusts, because Denver still hasn't lost at home. Are they the same? I'm not sure. I haven't read it yet. We'll be live reacting to the chapter soon here. Just wanted to chill and talk for a little bit. David Perez. New episodes, where can you watch the new? It's not a new episode, bro. It's it's a chapter, and please do not spam. Fucking curtains going crazy over here. That being said, I think it's about time. Let's get into this new chapter, man. Here we go. Ready? Let me get on the right thing here so you guys could keep that. All right, so we got this cold cover of Luffy on the jump. Like he's holding a skull with King on there with a sword in hand, sitting there with a crown. Like, this is just fire. I already saw this on Twitter fly by, and this is just one of my favorite jump covers of Luffy or One Piece in general. For Shonen Jump. This looks amazing. I believe we also have a double page color spread, which looks very cool. It's beautiful. It's all the One Piece girls. I'm not even going to address the controversy that went down on Twitter because of Yamato, because at this point we're done with Yamato. Okay, Yamato's not in the story anymore. We don't need to talk about her anymore. I'm just going to appreciate this beautiful color spread that Oda gave us and move on from that because we got some good story to get to. All right, One Piece chapter 1084, the attempted murder of a celestial dragon. Picking up where we left off, inside the Pangaea castle at the Holy Land of Marijua. Who took out the guards? Okay, so the guards, it looks like, got bodied. I'm guessing, seeing the flames, it's going to be Sabo. And there's Sabo taking out the guards. And last we saw, it was Cobra having a meeting with the Gorosei. Sabo was coming around trying to save Kuma as well. So they're all kind of colliding here. And we're going to figure out the answer. Okay, Jewelry Bonnie here as well. So this is where they cross paths. I initially thought we were going to get this story from Bonnie, because I didn't expect us to just jump away from Egghead for like 7 chapters. And Bonnie had teased it on Egghead, but I guess we're going to get the full story here. I'm assuming we still should back up with Bonnie and get the full Kuma story when we get there, though. Well, maybe we'll get some additional information here. Jewelry Bonnie. I think we're both after the same thing, so let's skip the small talk. They broke into the guards' quarters and stole the slave collar keys. Okay, that was one of their missions that they accomplished. Was not only freeing Kuma, but also a bunch of other people. I did hear about Kuma-san having a daughter. I've always tried to keep tabs on the Revolutionary Army activity. That's how. I know you're trustworthy. I'll leave it to you guys to get Dad's body to safety. That's a lot of trust. That is a lot of trust to just straight up be like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna trust you to go save my dad. Here's Karasu coming in with a crow. Yes. What the? Mission complete. Deliver the keys and tell Morley and Kuma to get Kuma and the others back to HQ as soon as they're free. Okay, so they're communicating this way. What about you, Sabo? I'll be right behind you after I'm done here. Understood. Be careful. What's your next move, Bonnie? I'm off to Egghead to see whether Vegapunk has a way to restore Dad's mind. And if he can't... Okay, and then, yep, here's the tease of how she ended up at Egghead and all that. And then we move on. There they are. Oh, who are these guys? That's weird. Oh, are we actually meeting the God's Knight? This chapter? That's weird. I could have sworn I saw something. Now, the God's Knight, I didn't even really think about this too much, but we had discussed this last chapter with the God's Knight because one of the silhouettes had looked like Shanks, right? And that's why you're seeing all the thumbnails of like a blue hair Shanks and stuff like that of people theorizing. But there's actually something there that's kind of interesting with Shanks being found in a treasure chest at God Valley where the Celestial Dragons lived. Also him being from the Figureland family, as we found out in film Red. So maybe there is actually something there where the Figureland family are the God's Knights. They're like the protectors of the Celestial Dragons, or like the muscle of the Celestial Dragons. That was really the only thing that we had kind of discussed and found interesting. Maybe we'll get some confirmation and information here, though. Pants. It feels like there are fewer guards than ever around here. We're too sure-handed to cover a tower this big. Okay, these look like regular guards, though. I owe you one. Okay, Sabo coming in clutch, holding Bonnie there. Haven't you heard? You can blame you-know-what for that. What's that mean? What does that mean? What are they talking about here? They're all gunned because they saw it. Saw what? The legendary Phantom Room. You idiot, don't talk nonsense like... Okay, so this is like the Emu Room where they were just chilling in there with like the butterflies flying around and stuff like that. So it looks like even the guards have started to speculate stuff. It's kind of like rumors. It's kind of like what they were talking about with the sun god, right? And Nika, and like how there was talk amongst the guards about this sun god. So we're kind of seeing the same thing go down here with Emu. That people still don't know about Emu, but obviously with them being there, they're gonna see rumors and glimpses, and rumors are gonna spread. But obviously they're also shutting it down by just offing anybody that see the Phantom Room. But Sabo hears of this and he looks pretty intrigued, and he says thanks, and they move on here. Eggheads in the New World, we're heading in the opposite direction. Good luck on your voyage. It's a little odd to see a radical revolutionary acting so friendly. Okay. It is also very weird to see them kind of... They're not really like in a rush or like in a panic mode. It feels like they've gotten around pretty easily. I know like they are in the Holy Land and like they don't want to fuck around too much and like, you know, destroy too many things, but it really feels like they're kind of just getting in and out pretty easily. They're kind of just chilling here, right? And then she's like, yeah, I'm going off to Egghead. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to go off to the other direction. So, you know, we'll see you later. Like, they're kind of just chilling, having a conversation here. Like, it's not like they're on the run in like enemy territory. Well, we're both determined to save the same person. Yeah, look after my dad for me. Well, they didn't do that. They did not do that very well, okay? Recovered your dad, just sent him flying back to the exact same location. Okay, and now we go to King Cobra. Let's see. King Cobra, ruler of Alabasta. What have you come to ask? Perhaps I should start from the beginning. Okay. I wonder how much information we're going to actually get here, right? Because, like, Cobra's actually going to have questions about, like, their history and Pluton and, like, how the original, 20 were formed and all that kind of stuff. What is the exact... Are they just going to kill him right away? Or are we actually going to get some teases? Did Cobra find something else out, like, during this time skip that we don't know about? One theory I've always had with Cobra and the Nefertari family is that maybe they were with Team Joy Boy all along, and they were the ones that ended up hiding the information about the Nika fruit and changing the name to the Gomu Gomu, because it seems like the world government still somehow, even the Gorosei, didn't really know about it until recently. It feels like the only way that could maybe happen is an inside job. But we'll see. Hopefully we can actually get some information here instead of just see Cobra ask a question and get off like he's Professor Clover. As you are aware, the organization known as the World Government was founded 800 years ago. He's kind of not saying this for them. He's saying this for us. Just a little refresher for those that have forgotten. When 20 monarchs came together, their families all promptly moved to Marijois to live as one clan, refers to as the Celestial Dragons, the ones responsible for the creation of the world. And as such, they have ruled over their creation ever since. Internally, the 20 were considered equal, and to ensure that no individual dictator would rise up from among them, they installed the empty throne. Each of them placed a weapon around the throne to symbolize their vow to never try and sit upon it. Has Cobra actually figured something out about Emu? Like, how did he figure that information out? Because that's what he's kind of leaning towards right now. He's not asking about Pluton or anything else. Interesting. Did he read the family records and find some information out? If so, hopefully he told Vivi about it and did not just leave her in the dark. At the same time, new royal families were handpicked to rule the nations. The founders could no longer preside over those families are still empowered to this day. Yep. Similarly to how King Riku and his family ended up ruling over Dressrosa after the Don Quixote family ascended into Marijois. In order to ensure the smooth transition, all references mentioning the previous dynasty's reign were removed from each of the founders' respective home countries. Okay, so it looks like after they replaced themselves, they actually wiped their records as well, which is an interesting move. With the sole exception of Alabasta, the monarch at the time, we're gonna get a name here, Queen Lily of House Nefertari. While her name was immortalized as one of the founding 20, she did not stay to become a celestial dragon. Yup. Okay, so he's asking about the Nefertaris and why they decided to change, I guess. Is that what he's after? Obviously, I don't think they're going to give him an answer here, but hopefully we get some teases. Instead, she was to return to Alabasta to continue her reign, which is why the Nefertari family has continued to act as sovereigns. Now, the Nefertari family are clearly, like they were once part of the founding 20, but eventually they clearly became allies of Joy Boy. How do we know that? It's because they have such an important poneglyph in the one that contains the information about Pluton, which, of course, Robin read and eventually found out that Pluton was in Wano. If you look at the important poneglyphs, the one in Skypiea, the one in Wano, the one with the minx, right? These are all allies of Joy Boy that got the important ones to hold on to. So the Nefertari family, although they were part of the original 20, whether that was to kind of sneak in and do an inside job or eventually change their mind, ended up eventually definitely supporting Joy Boy. So is there some additional information that we don't know about that we're going to find out here? This also means that only 19 weapons were ever placed around the empty throne. Hold on a minute. Now something just came to my mind here. Now that they mentioned 19, and now we're seeing that silhouette of the Lily of House Nefertari. Is she Emu? No way, right? Because then what happened? Like her ancestors switched sides and joined Joy Boy? It's all as you say, but what exactly is your point? I've scoured all of my kingdom's ancient texts, but as far as I can tell, all known accounts chronicling the period after the Void Century have one thing in common. Her name isn't mentioned once. Okay. So they wiped the records from her, even though she supposedly went back and ruled Alabasta. Is Lily Nefertari Emu? And then how did it eventually switch sides to Joy Boy, though? It appears Queen Lily never made it home to Alabasta. Or did they kill her? Now I'm just like speculating all over the place now. And the burden of ruling the country fell to her younger brother. Do you have any record of what became of her? Yeah, right, they're gonna tell you any fucking record. To be blunt, and now we're seeing Emu here in the Phantom Room here. To be blunt, 800 years ago is a very long... Okay, Emu's listening into this as well. 800 years ago is a very long time ago. It is true that of the 20 families, the Nefertari line did not move here. However, it was believed that the queen returned back to her country after that decision. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that the details about her motives and journey are lost to the annals of history. We simply do not know. Yeah, fucking right you don't know, boy. In that case, what is the meaning of D? Okay, he's not budging here. He's not budging. Why do you ask? The truth is, a short... Wait. Hold on. Why do you ask? The truth is, a short letter penned by the queen has been passed down from one generation to the next. Oh. No, why? We're going away? So the queen never returned home, but has passed down this letter from her younger brother every single generation that has something to do with the meaning of D. Clearly, or else why would he ask that? And now, oh, sure, Hoshi got captured again? What the fuck, guys? Public courtyard, Pangea Castle. Kya, please stop, please, I beg you. Okay, and there's Kuma doing the dirty work. It hurts, someone help me. He. If she keeps squirming, don't hesitate, Pappy. I finally caught myself a giant mermaid. Excellent work, Charlos. Where's Neptune at? Oh no, our beloved Princess Shirahoshi. I wonder what she eats. I'm gonna ride you to town every single day. Pause. If you don't listen, you'll know nothing but pain. No, please, someone, say, anyone, help me. This is bad. Her papa and the guards are all still in the meeting tower. Quick, before anything else happens. Okay, so that's why Neptune's in the meeting. Run away, that's so heartless. Okay, so the cowards, they just all ran away. We didn't see a thing. Hey, mermaid, did you just say no to me? I won't tolerate such a defiance. She's a stranger, forget about her. It's not like she was going to agree to any of our marriage proposals anyway. Yeah, everybody's just selfishly going for themselves. Out of my way, you spineless algae. Wow, it's the delegates from the Ryugu Kingdom. Don't be foolish. You'll doom your own country. Ah, forgive us, Shirahoshi. We only looked away for a minute. Let's go home and never come back to this rotten place. Big brother. I feel like Garp's got to come through here, right? Because Garp ended up being their protector eventually. I feel like Garp's got to be the one to come through here and save the day. Because listen, this man is not going to... This up against Bartholomew Kuma? Come on, man. You damn celestial dragons. Do away with the small fry. My invincible slave. Okay. Are the revolutionaries going to come in clutch here? Okay, nope. They just get blasted. Yeah, they just get blasted. Looks like they dodged some of it, but they get absolutely decked there. The warlord, Bartholomew Kuma. It is truly pitiful to see how far you've fallen. But we can't stop now. Let's do it. Ryoboshi, Mamboshi. I'm not gonna lie, I never remember their names. Gut them, Kuma. Who cares if they're royalty? No one will complain if we bury them in money. Besides, they're just fish. Shirahoshi. Princess Rebecca. Okay, there's Rebecca. We see Don Sai there as well, along with Leo. Rebecca, that's the baddie from before. Hey, yeah, Meowsguard is here. I can hit him, right? By all means, I'll take full responsibility. Okay, so it looks like another Meowsguard is here to help. That should calm down the situation a little bit, but Kuma is still quite a beast himself. But a royal like you must show restraint, Prince Fukaboshi. Ah, okay, so he can't go. Technically, Don Sai is representing his country as well, but obviously he's going to be a pirate eventually. Meowsguard, you hit me earlier. How could you? Kuma, kill him. He's going to try to kill a celestial dragon? Oh, so it ended up being Charlos that tried to kill another celestial dragon. That was one of the headlines. What's the difference, Meowsguard? We can't just sit back and let them treat our little sister like that. Escaping is easier for them. They don't have a country to think about. They're pirates. Tontada? Oh, yo, is Leo gonna come through with a Charlos punch? Hashokin secret art? And Don Sai gonna come through as well. Sir Leo, Sir Sai, don't do it. He's a celestial dragon. Yes, sir. Drill dragon nail and tail hammer. Oh, I love it. I love it. Bro gets squashed, bro. Oh my god. Oh man. Pancake. Look at my boy. Straight up turned into how's he still alive? He can't still be alive after that, right? What's going on? Ah, Charlos, we're all doomed. That must have killed him. We all saw it happen. They murdered a celestial dragon. An admiral's gonna show for sure. Okay, there's Kuma taking action. Was it Charlos? It might have been actually Charlos in the paper for attempted murder. But he tried to kill Meowsguard first. So it looks like it was actually Don Sai and Leo that attempted to murder. I guess he ended up surviving this somehow. Unfortunately. Stop picking on Kuma. Okay, there's Morley. Okay, so this is when they end up rescuing him. Just straight up hugs him. He's crying away here. You don't have to listen to anyone's orders anymore. It's okay. Let's go home together. What's going on? How did a giant get here? Morley, I've got the keys from Sabo. Hang on. Is he an intruder? That's Morley. He's a captain of a revolutionary army. Okie dokie. Let's head down, Karasu. Okay, so they end up escaping there, it looks like. Look how they massacred my boy. Look how they massacred my boy. And then I'm guessing Don Sai and Leo's got to get the fuck out of there, bro. And then now Emu's showing up. Wow, okay. Hold on a minute. We might actually get some answers here. Great Emu. King Cobra is still present. What? Lily? Lily what, bro? And a break next week? Oh, no hesitation to sit on the throne. Is that Lily? Do we think that's Lily? Or did they kill Lily? I don't think that's Lily. I don't think that's Lily. But we gotta talk though. We gotta talk regardless. Regardless, we gotta talk. Hell of a chapter. It's like a bit of a setup chapter, but my God, did we get some critical information. Trying to switch the music real quick here. And then I'll get to chat. Emu is a woman confirmed? It's only confirmed if she is Lily. Or they are Lily, I guess. We've seen the eyeballs come through there as well. The will of death. Joy Boy cucked him. Oh man, I'm gonna have to change the name of this channel, bro. Hold on, what's going on with this? There we go. Focus. It's not Lily, it's Pell. Lily is very sus now. That's the what it's seeming like, right? What confuses me is this though, right? If there was a letter passed down from every generation, something about the will of D is being contained in there, then was Lily actually, like exiled and killed, but then she passed on this letter? Because we know the Nefertari family are allies. They wouldn't have gotten the poneglyph about Pluton if that was not the case, right? And they also have the flag. The Alabasta flag also has that sun symbol, similar to Wano, similar to the Minx, similar to the Fishmen, similar to the Shandians, right? These are all people that were clearly allies of Joy Boy that held very important poneglyphs. So eventually the Nefertari family clearly became allies. So either Lily betrayed and then sent a letter. What would that letter contain if she betrayed and became Emu? And what would that letter contain though? Would it be like, beware of the D? Beware, pause, but beware of the D, as they are enemies to our country forever. But then what? Her little brother was just like, you know what? I'm gonna work with Joy Boy instead, but still pass down this message? Bro is holding an 800-year grudge because Mr. stole your girl. Bro's bad he got beef with Lily's descendant from centuries later. These are the true ones to sit on the throne. I think 20 families are real humans. What do you mean? Of course they're real humans. Lily looks just like Vivi. Yeah, she's definitely, like, it feels like Lily, Vivi, like, she's definitely gonna look like... Given that connection, though, we know how Oda likes parallels. I'm trying to think, what's the perspective we could look at this between Luffy and Vivi and how Joy Boy and Lily were? Because clearly Lily was a huge figurehead in this whole thing. How big that throne was. Perfect for the person that wore the giant straw hat. Has to be Lily because 19 families never, but Lily never did. Yeah, the 19 swords thing is pretty huge, right? Because, like, you would think, like, how did they end up deciding, like, the ruling person? The 19 swords one with the Nefertari returning and never living there, like, it just added it all up. It just made sense. That would lead you to believe that Lily is Emu. Joy Boy is Lily and Emu's son. So we think Emu's a dude? And, like, he was beefing with Joy Boy over Lily? We think there's a love triangle going on here? Why Cobra asked what the D mean? It has to be something to do with the letter. Because he must have figured something out with the letter that was passed down generation to generation. which leads me to believe Lily was a good person that ends up getting betrayed or exiled because she was trying to team up with Joy Boy in the end. Maybe Emu, whoever Emu is, was also friendly with Lily, so Lily was trying to side with him for a while, and then ultimately realized, oh, you have gone down the wrong path, we cannot do this, and then eventually tries to go back, disagrees to become a celestial dragon, and decides to help the Joy Boy Alliance, essentially, by, taking on the poneglyph that contains Pluton, passing down this letter from generation to generation. Maybe instead, the letter says, hey, the will of D will never die, always support those people, or something like that, or some kind of hint in there. TCB notes talk about the name, let me check. Check that real quick. Lily and Lily, okay, so two different... after some deliberation, we decided to go with Lily as a spelling as a better fit with Vivi and TT. Vivi and Titty? Like, Lily is a common alternative spelling for Lily in the real world, especially countries such as France. Vivi, the name references a flower. However, the I variation has more potential references. For instance, Hebrew means the oath of God. You should know that Japanese includes that symbol, which success a long I sound. It would not be surprising if Viz goes with Lily, as there's no correct version currently, but we will update as more evidence emerges. What did OP Scans put it as? Let me check. OP Scans also has a Lily with Lili. Lily's in a dungeon with a giant straw hat. You think she's still alive? I mean, this is 800 years ago. There can't be that many people still alive. I would imagine Emu. I'm not mad at this love triangle idea, bro. I'm not mad at it. Pistol, we cut back to Egghead right now. The thing is, this stopping point is something we could actually leave on a cliffhanger on, unfortunately. Like, leaving on Cobra before he even enters, like, we already knew he was gonna meet the girl, so you had to give us something else more and finish up all the stuff that, Sabo and the Revolutionary Army was doing. You know what? On that point, though, I will say maybe we do continue here because we still have to see how Sabo found out the information. Because remember, this is a story being told by Sabo still, right? So we can't just all of a sudden leave this story in the middle of his narration without coming back to him, without him concluding his version. Even if we stop here, even if we don't get this information from Emu, like we cut away from Emu here, and we just go back to Sabo's perspective, and he runs in at the end, and he sees, like, Cobra with a shocked face and, like, killed or something like that. Even if it's like that, we have to kind of close that chapter, I think, before we go back to Egghead. I'm not sure if we're actually going to find out this Lily information, because this feels like classic drop a bunch of hints, and then we're out of there type of thing. Lily is Umi and the brother is Emo. Okay. But then the brother was supposedly the one that ended up ruling Alabasta afterwards. Unless there's an older brother in this story as well. The thing is, like, we have to lean towards, like, the Nefertari family still being involved somehow here. Because the fact that there was 19 swords plugged in and the Nefertari family was the only one that left, and, like, there's one person sitting on the throne now, you would have to think, like, someone from the Nefertari family probably sits on that throne now, right? Who is the king? The king, who is it? Joy Boy got better wrist than Emu. Could it be a story of, like, 3 siblings? Or, like Lily was the ruler. You know, and she's trying to balance everything that works out. There still has to be a reason why 20, like that Great Kingdom, we need to know, did they actually go too far with their technology or something like that? To the point where 20 kingdoms gathered together to take them down? Like, what was that reasoning? The name of the Green Kingdom is still so critical that they cut away from right before we found out from Professor Clover. So was it a fact like, you know, Lily kind of agreed in the beginning and then later found out, oh, okay, this direction that we're heading towards, I cannot do it, right? And then maybe like an older brother was like, hey, and he was like actually like running the scenes behind the, like with the 20, like 19 other kingdoms the whole time. And then ends up betraying Lily somehow, but then Lily sends off the letter to the younger brother, and then he ends up passing down this message about the Will of D, and then helping Joy Boy for the next 800 years. Why did Emu show himself a Cobra? Clearly, Emu is about to off Cobra, and decided to just flex. Like he's, they're coming in here to drop some knowledge, and then he's gonna blast them. They didn't expect, yeah, no, it's all Emu. Emu's coming in, they're flexing. Either like I'm Lily or like Lily, you know, made the wrong choice. They're about to drop a bar. Clearly, they're about to drop a bar. Like Lily is me, or like Lily made the wrong choice, or like blah, blah, blah. They're dropping a bar and then they're gonna blast King Cobra. Like they even came on, sat on the throne to make a statement as well. Like bars about to be dropped. And then heads are about to be blasted. The throne is not a secret. That's always been a representation there of like nobody sits on that throne. Somebody actually sitting on that throne is hidden, which is Emu. Nobody knows about Emu. Not even the guards. Face reveal next chapter. I have a feeling I always bet on not getting the information, right? Which I've been happily proven wrong for this stretch of chapters that we've gotten. But I usually bet on not getting the information. So if I had to guess, I would say next chapter, we see Sabo's perspective. He comes into the room, sees Cobra is dead, notices Emu, and then gets out of there somehow. And then he ends his story. And then we maybe cut back to Egghead or get some updates somewhere else, like Garba and Aokiji, because we don't know what's going on there still. Peter Falk, thank you for the super chat. Gorosei called Nefertari's traitors for their decision not to be Celestials, so Emu cannot be Lily. If anything, it seems she betrayed them. That is a very good point. I did forget that they mentioned that before. Yeah, I have to go back and like really reread that to like get the full context, but I do remember that now that you mentioned that. But it is still possible. I think it's still possible that a Nefertari is sitting on the throne, like an older brother or something like that. Because the fact that there are 19, like who's the person that behind the scenes that wasn't part of all 20 kingdoms just manipulated all of this and sat on the throne at the end? Goda is cooking with 5 different ovens. He is absolutely, like, the lore piece is on fire right now. And when this all comes together with the Straw Hat stuff, that's just gonna be peak, man. Think Marineford with all the Straw Hats involved, and we still have so much to get to outside of this stuff with Shanks and Elbaf and Mihawk and the Cross Guild. Blackbeard, come on, man. Like, this is just non-stop, pure flames that we are getting every chapter here, all right? This is like a setup chapter. This is not even like a huge... This is a setup chapter to, like, just tease stuff. And, like, we still got so much information just to fill in those blanks. Lily was a vessel. I don't know about vessel, because I would imagine the way Emu is still alive is that continuation of the Ape Ape no Mi. They want to take Vivi's body. So what's the idea behind that? Strange Digs, I'm doing good. How are you, man? Not my Pirate King. Do we think we come back to Kamabaka after following Bonnie's story and then back to Egghead? That is as possible as well. I do think we have to wrap up Sabo's perspective, right? Because that's a narrative. That's how we got to this story in the first place. We're seeing outside of his perspective, but the reason we're getting this flashback in the first place is because Sabo sat down and he was like, I'm going to tell what's actually happening. So wrapping up his perspective and then going back to him and then seeing the reactions of like Dragon and Ivankov and teasing what their next move could be the right answer. Right? Maybe like at least get a glimpse of like, oh, okay, like what's going to happen to them? When exactly could they potentially be involved again? Because I don't think they're going to be involved in Egghead. Like I've mentioned multiple times, like they're all the way back in Kamabaka Kingdom, which is not even in the new world. It's in the freaking, it's in paradise, right? So there's no way they're going to make it 24 hours to this incident that's about to go down tomorrow at Egghead. So the fact that we're getting this information from them now, I think at the very least we have to end off with a tease from them on what the next move for them is. Especially with Kuma right now in the middle of Marishwa. Are they going to attack Marishwa next? We'll see. The Blackbeard, the Garp and Aokiji stuff, that has to get some information unless Aokiji is going to make it to Egghead as well, which is absolutely possible because we know the Blackbeard pirates are heading towards that direction. Most likely it's Katarina, Devon, and Shiryu going there already. Make videos about the God Knights next video. Listen, man, the video, I'm stagnant on the video right now. Okay, the creative block is heavy there. I promise you, when the comeback happens, it's going to be a lot of good content. I'm going to be back on it. But for now, we're just going to be discussing these chapters on these live streams, man. What if Lily was the wife of Joy Boy and betrayed him because she had a brother? That means she would not have been queen and called to the meeting and she was chosen to rule. Emu is close to that. Yeah, there's a lot. See, there's a lot of different ways you could twist this. It could be a love triangle. It could be another brother that was involved. It's just not enough to make anything concrete right now. I am interested to go on Twitter, see if there's any takes on that or angles that we potentially missing. So I'm gonna take a peep there along with Reddit. Looks like people are mostly just excited. There's some Yamato discourse because of course. Haven't really seen any. Right, we do have to. What is this? Do we think this is a tease or anything? So this was all the way back in Skypiea. People are pointing out this. I don't think so. I think that's just Oda drawing women very similarly to each other. There's nothing there that would. Hold on. Let me see. What is this? Celestial Dragon. Because this was a ship that fell from the sky. They're saying peep the Celestial Dragon symbol. Where? Am I missing it? Oh, right here. Oh, shit. Hold on a minute now. So that was a Celestial Dragon ship that falls from the sky. And then we have this picture that kind of looks like Vivi. Stabbed. But that could have been just debris. That it doesn't necessarily. Oh no, but stabbed all the way through pretty clearly though. That's not the symbol. Hold on, let me see. It's the slave mark, isn't it? Yeah. So this is the symbol for the slave mark. It's similar enough. But then I'm like, what the fuck is this head on this ship? Is there any other clues we have here? It's hard to tell. Because this is more close together. But also this is all the way back in Skypiea. Like, when was the first time we saw this Celestial Dragon symbol? Symbols have changed before. Let's not forget Whitebeard's Jolly Roger. Is it photoshopped? What's photoshopped? Not the panel. I don't think the panel is photoshopped. Wasn't it supposed to be a venture from 200 years ago? Everything that humans can imagine is a possible... Okay, no. Yeah, I don't remember. I have to go back and reread that panel to really be sure, to be honest. I would lean probably not Lily, but it is interesting enough to make you think, oh, that's a little interesting there. For that to be straight up Lily, though, I'm not sure about that. Okay, so Joe points out here. We talk about a so this chapter we go from a letter about the will of D, and then the next panel after that jumps to Shirahoshi and the Fishman who received an apology letter from Joy Boy. I'm not exactly sure what that's supposed to lead me to believe, but I guess there's some connection there, a little parallel. Luffy X Vivi. I'm trying to think. Clearly, it just feels like there's Lily and Joy Boy and Luffy and Vivi parallels. So I'm trying to think like the structure of the story of how Luffy and Vivi, what their story was, and using Alabasta as a smaller scale and what potentially that could mean for the bigger scale of the world. But there's nothing like there was. So Luffy meets Vivi when Vivi was technically a pirate or a bounty hunter, right? So maybe there's a potential that Lily was like also an adventurer like Vivi, right? Like Vivi has that like very adventurous like nature to her that she just has. So if that is paralleled, maybe that's how Joy Boy and Lily knew each other. I'm not sure about the romance angle, because like we just haven't seen anything quite like that with like Luffy and Vivi, even though some people ship them. But even that, like just like best friends, right? They could just have the like super friendly relationship as like two people that travel the world and like maybe even battled it out, right? And butted heads, like kind of Roger versus Whitebeard, but like a male-female relationship like that. But Lily, at the end of the day, is a ruler. So when this big war happens, like, there's still too many blanks, because we don't know what caused this war and 20 kingdoms to team up against, you know. And you think about Alabasta. Vivi is out to seek information because the people have been turned against Alabasta. So could that have happened to the Great Kingdom? Right? Where information is being manipulated at the Great Kingdom are like too dangerous for their own good because they're advancing way too much, which they absolutely were. Because that's what happened to Alabasta, right? It's being used against them. This drought is happening. So that could be a manipulation of information that kind of parallels. But then eventually, Vivi's the one that comes in and saves the day at the end and just tells everybody to stop fighting. What could Lily's role in that be? To at least to try to achieve the same thing. Did she try to play both sides because she just wanted to end this war? But then in the end, it just didn't work out because Emu, you know, took the opportunity and ran with it. And then so she tried to correct the path in the end by passing out this letter. And then, of course, Joy Boy and his allies came together and decided, you know, let's create the poneglyphs. The Willow D will always live on. The people in the future will figure this stuff out. Don't forget the Mermaid Princess a long time ago. Also somehow, yeah, she was also definitely one of the allies. So is Wano, the people that created the poneglyphs, and also has Pluton right now. The Shandians, who also had a poneglyph that had information about Uranus. Of course, the Minks, who have one of the road poneglyphs. The Fishmen, who had an apology letter, and also the other road poneglyph before they gave it away somehow. Ooh, man. We did just get some much bigger puzzle pieces to fill in. But this is such a big puzzle to fill in. You know what I'm saying? Any connections to Amazon Lily? Nah, I don't think so. Probably not. I would say probably not, but who knows? You never know, right? Either Lily was the owner of the Ape Ape no Mi and sacrificed her for Emu, or she is... I don't see her being Emu. I just don't see it. I think that's a throw off. I think that's the curveball where it gets introduced like, hey, Nefertari family left and there's only 19 swords and now there's one person sitting on the throne. I don't think it's Lily. I think Lily is going to parallel Vivi and is going to be a good person. The moon is another side of this. That side of it, when it gets to like the moon and like the connections to real life, that's when I always got like way too theory deep for me, and my brain just kind of shuts off. But yeah, I think Lily like being Emu is the red herring. Clearly, yeah, like you said, it's clearly the red herring. But she was definitely involved here. Sorry, I'm rubbing my eye so much. The fucking allergies are killing me. And it's only my left eye that keeps getting destroyed. There are clues for who is Emu somewhere in the story, but we don't know where to look or what to look for. I mean, Emu was only introduced like 100 chapters ago. 100 or plus chapters ago. 200 almost, I guess, at this point. But, you know. How do I rate the chapter? Is a great, damn good chapter for sure. You know, we don't get all the answers, but we got some really exciting teases here. I'm trying to see if there's anything else we missed here. The Phantom Room, we have to also think back. The Chamber of Flowers, right? It's also called the Phantom Room by the guards. When we first meet Emu, they're in here with a sword, cutting up Luffy, cutting up Blackbeard, holding up a picture of Vivi, right? But now we know the Lily connection. It could just be like, holy shit, look how close she looks to Lily, you know? Like, the realization that the next generation is here. Here's Joy Boy is here. The ancient weapon Shirahoshi has finally been reborn. Vivi, who's like Lily, 800 years later, essentially. So maybe it wasn't actually targeting Vivi. Instead, there's actually a relationship with Lily here. And now we can look at this in a whole different perspective of like, Lily, you've been reborn again, essentially, right? The next version of you have finally arrived. And this is why we need a great cleansing and really shut everything down, right? Because the destined day that's been talked about for so long is finally here. I still wonder about all this, like how exactly they predict everything to happen at the exact same time. Where like obviously like Shirahoshi being born this time, I think you could predict that, but then like somebody just like becoming Joy Boy and all that kind of stuff, like it just feels like a little too perfectly lined up. So I hope there's an explanation eventually of like, yeah, as long as enough people seek freedom, as long as enough people, keep trying to get after freedom, like the time will come when the ancient weapons are reborn and there will be a guy ready to step up. You know, like Roger was too early because the ancient weapons were ready or something like that. And then the Nika fruit just found its way to the right person because it's just meant to be, because it just looks for the right person to kind of seek out, because it kind of has a will of its own, right? Blackbeard is Davy Jones. Yeah, Blackbeard is clearly like, I think, Rocks from Roger's generation. Of course, there probably should be like another 800 years ago version of somebody that he's like paralleling, because it's all paralleling down, right? Now we have Lily and Vivi. Emu, who's probably never changed. The person that stayed the same and stayed alive this entire time. Luffy being Joy Boy. Blackbeard being Rocks, but also who was that version of the D clan back then, you know? Shirahoshi being the mermaid princess from 800 years ago. It's all kind of coming together in this next generation. Davy Jones could be a really good answer, because that's probably, you know, the Davy back fight is probably how, you know, Rocks gathered his crew, and clearly Blackbeard is kind of carrying that on as well. Lily's, yeah, reincarnation is not the right word, because it's not like a reincarnation, but like, I know what you mean. It's like the next generation, right? Essentially like the will passed on. The personification of Lily from 800 years later. So if that's the case, there's no way Lily is Emu. So I think the fact that Emu has the pictures of Shirahoshi, Luffy, Blackbeard, I think clearly these people went against Emu 800 years ago. They were the people, the D-Clan, two members of the D-Clan, Joy Boy and whoever, Davy Jones we want to call it, or whoever like was the representation of the D-Clan version of Blackbeard back then, plus the Ancient Weapon and Mermaid Princess, who we know teamed up with Joy Boy. They were the people that were fighting against Emu. Emu ended up winning, but now they're coming back with the next generation. And the reason I think they're holding Vivi's picture was because Lily, even though she ended up switching sides in the end and became an ally of Joy Boy, clearly try to balance everything out, because that's what Vivi tries to do, right? Try to just stop war, all right? Let's stop killing each other. And she tried to play both sides, and maybe had a relationship of some sort. Emu was like the brother or former lover, or this love triangle going down, of some sort going down. And then he's just looking at the picture and be like, wow, you really look, it's like Lily has reincarnated. And you will be one of my enemies, just like Lily was. But I'm not going to cut up your picture, because there's still that kind of relationship there somehow. And maybe like part of it is getting over that for Emu. Maybe we see eventually next chapter or beyond, Emu finally revealing the information, like Lily betrayed me or something like that. And like, I'm going to shut this shit down now. And the final thing is like him like also ripping apart Vivi's picture and being like, there's no more connection. I'm going to rule this shit and shut it all down. That could be a potential scene that we get played out here, because now I'm looking at this, it's clearly not like I'm targeting Vivi, right? Like, it's not like, oh, Vivi is the important one that I have to go after, like Vivi is Pluton, right? That theory is dead. Instead, it's like, Vivi, you're just like, Lily is back now. It's like, Lily is back. Now I'm like getting reminiscent, nostalgic about the battles and like the memories that we had. But now I'm going to shut this shit down. I'm going to end it once and for all, like a final villain would, right? For gods, that type of stuff I've never tapped into, because it's all so connected to the outside world and there's so many different ways you can interpret it. So like I never tapped into that, but it could definitely line up with a lot of that stuff as well. He stabbed it though. He did not stab Vivi. He stabbed Shirahoshi. He stabbed Shirahoshi, cut up Luffy and Blackbeard, and held Vivi's picture as he walked up to the throne. Lily being Toki? I don't see that. I don't think so. Toki probably helped Lily get away. How, though? I don't think there's a connection there. I think Toki's mission was just to try to pass on the message. Just another way to pass on the message. You know? Just like, hey, you have this ability to jump to the future. Let's take another way besides the poneglyphs, besides our belief in freedom always wins. Besides all that, let's just use you to keep jumping into the future until you're in the right timeline to pass on that information and pass on that will even more, right? And she ended up doing that. Just like she didn't jump all the way. She just stopped and found her life with Odin and then still passed on the will in her own way by telling the people of Wano at the end there, hey, there will be a new dawn soon. Do we see Sabo and the Gorosei actually clash next chapter? I don't know. I'm not sure. I still kind of lean towards Gorosei can scrap because I just don't see why one of them will hold a Shodai Katetsu like that all the time if they can't. But I don't imagine it's anything huge. You know? I would say that's more likely than actually getting the answer about Lily, though. Because we're getting a little too much right now. We still have Elbaf. We still have all these other stuff to get to. I just don't think we're going to get all the answers right now. Looking back, covering Lily's crown is suspicious. Toki sent Lily to the future? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Vivi is supposed to be this generation's Lily. Lily is short for Lilith. And the version of Vegapunk is actually Lily, yes. Trying to get to Wano to get Pluton, she knew it from Alabasta Poneglyph and was waiting for Joy Boy. She was in the same generation as Joy Boy, so she already knew where Pluton was. She didn't need a Poneglyph. She could just talk to Joy Boy if she wanted to. Like, she didn't need a message and a Poneglyph from Joy Boy. The Poneglyphs is for the next generation to find out. The war at that point, I think, was already over, right? The Nefertari, they had already won. The world government had been formulated, and then Lily decided to leave after that. She wasn't like, oh, now I'm going to get Pluton and fucking destroy you guys, you know? I don't think that's the case. By that point, I think Wano has already built up its borders, maybe with the help of the ancient giant ores. And then, you know, everybody's kind of just closing off and trying to pass on the will to the next generation. And that's why Lily ends up writing that letter. What actually happened to her, we don't know. What if Imu is an ancient weapon? It could be possible, right? We have Shirahoshi, the mermaid princess, is involved. Imu is like, I don't know. She would have to be some sort of... I keep saying she and he. I just keep saying like different ones because we don't know what Imu is. So just excuse me for that. I'm going to be saying she, he, they all over the place. Because sometimes I'll talk about him like he's Imu, he's Lily's brother or lover, so I'll say he. And then sometimes I'm thinking like Imu is like a god and like an ancient weapon, and it's like a woman that comes to mind. So I don't know. The war was over by then, exactly. By then, like, Joy Boy already written the apology, you know, passed on the poneglyphs they created. They're like, it's over. The world government's formulated by then. But I know the theorists are going to be cooking this chapter for sure. Okay, here's some people mentioning. Confirms that Cobra and Vivi descended from Lily's brother, but what about Lily's lineage? I've long questioned whether or not we've met any other Amatsuki in the story before other than Toki. Okay, so he chose the one that passes on the theory here that Toki is Lily's daughter. But I don't see any evidence besides the fact that could be cool. You guys know me. Unless I see some like really interesting evidence backing it, I'm mostly like, I just don't pay any mind to it. Even when people bring up like outside references that, you know, could parallel the story, I'm just like, could be taking inspiration, could be, you know, manipulating the information, could be completely different things, you know? like Nami is clearly inspired from Sun Wukong, but like outside of like her powers, there's nothing about her story that really matches up, you know? There's so many different things you could be like, look, this matches up Luffy and Hanuman, clearly an inspiration. But you're not gonna look at Hanuman's entire story and be like, everything that happens here is gonna happen to Luffy. But actually, most of the time what happens is people see this one inspiration and be like, they start nitpicking little things out of the story and be like, oh, look, see, this could be true too, this could be true, while just ignoring the other things that that don't line up with the theory. Nuggets in 7? I think the Nuggets are a better team. I would say Nuggets in 6, but I also think the Lakers could easily win if the Nuggets shooting starts failing them. That might explain the shadows in the Florian Triangle. About what? Umibozu are shadows that can transform into beautiful women. Oh, okay, interesting. Emu has to be something not human because no one lives for 800. The thing is, with the Ape Ape no Mi in play, anything is possible. Lakers in 5, quite confident there. Quite confident after the thing is, like, I get why Laker fans and a lot of people are saying, like, Lakers should be encouraged after, you know, coming back from down 20, even though they lost. The thing is, they still lost wire to wire, and the Nuggets could also make adjustments, you know? So, like, I don't know. Like, a loss is still a loss. I guess you could be pretty encouraged from, like, almost coming back from that big of a deficit and finding an adjustment that worked. But a loss is still, like, I wouldn't come out of that game and be like, oh yeah, Lakers in 5. I think you're just you might be viewing it with a tinted lens at that point, because you're kind of like, oh look, we made adjustment, we were coming back, and like Nuggets won't shoot this well again. But then, like, is AD gonna average 40 this game series? And like, you know, is Hachimura gonna show up every game? Is Austin Reeves has been pretty consistent, but like, you know, these role players, you don't know. It's always up and down with these guys. It's gonna go 6 or 7 though, I think. Warriors in 5, yeah, no. Yeah, Safama's been pretty quiet after all that. After the recent series. Haven't seen him in a minute here. I'm a Cavs fan, but I think the Lakers figured something out that they did. The thing is, like, you could also, like, I don't know why the Nuggets were putting Aaron Gordon in the dunker spot. Because that just clogged the paint. AD was roaming off of him, and then, like, Jokic couldn't get down deep. And if you're going to play Rui Hachimura against Jokic, I would imagine Jokic starts shooting more. And then, you know, he's just been killing this entire... He could drop 50 if he wants to, as already shown. I just don't think, like, yeah, the Lakers figured something out, but they still lost, and the Nuggets could still easily make adjustments. They could just not play Aaron Gordon. Put Bruce Brown in for Aaron Gordon, stick Bruce Brown in the corner, and now you have the outlet pass there that AD can't help as much off of. Either that or, like, start screening off ball a little bit as well, get some more movement, as opposed to Gordon just sitting in the dunker spot there. Smoke will never get out coached like Doc Rivers did. Doc Rivers didn't really get out coached. He made a lot of adjustments. The Celtics are just better. And also Harden and Embiid shit the bed. Embiid has a little bit of injury excuse, but he still was just completely gassed. Harden was the one that shit the bed more than people think. Because if you look at the adjustments the Celtics made, they shut down the Embiid and Harden pick and roll by just having the big stick to Embiid every time. So Harden had wide open layup lanes that if he just put his head down and went to the lane and went for a layup, he probably would have gotten a lot of layups. But game 7, he was terrified, bro. He whipped that ball out so fast that he was not trying to shoot at all. And the Sixers offense became PJ Tucker threes. And so from that point on, we held them below 90 points twice. So Yeah. Spo's obviously a better coach than Doc. I fully expect the Heat to have the coach advantage. But also, like, there's only so much you could do with coaching. As long as the Celtics don't shit the bed, talent still wins out in the end. I have all the respect for the Heat. I like mentally am already preparing myself for this series to go 7 because that's just how it goes. But I still think if the Celtics play their best, they should easily beat the Heat if they play their best. But they're not going to play their best. And the Heat could easily win this series as well, as long if the Celtics fuck around. So I'm expecting Celtics in like 6 or 7. Mazzulla carried by good players. Listen, he still puts him in a position to succeed. Is he the best playoff coach ever? No, but how many are? It's like Spoelstra, Kerr, Nick Nurse, and that's it. Popovich. Like, it's 4 coaches in the league that are like proven good playoff coaches. We just had like 4 coaches, like 4 of the most winningest coaches in the last 3 years all get fired. So like everybody's like, oh yeah, this guy's not a good coach. That guy's not a good coach in the playoffs. They're getting exposed. Like, by these standards, nobody's a good coach outside of Spoelstra and like Kerr, and like Nick Nurse even has his flaws. Something freakish out of control happens every series. Doc is just unlucky. Well, I wouldn't say that. Doc is not perfect either. He can't seem to get a full grip on his players. Like the fact that this man has blown 3 Game 7 or 3-3-1 leads, and he is 16-34 when his team has 3 wins, which is crazy. All right, like we're not just gonna say that's all luck. That's crazy. Why can't Emu be Lily? So, Emu, I don't think it's Lily because I think it's clear that Vivi is being the parallel Lily. So, number 1, that parallel will make Lily a good person. Secondly, we know the Nefertari family eventually became allies of Joy Boy because they got the poneglyph containing important information in regards to where ancient weapon Pluton is. And the only people that have important poneglyphs like that are allies, like the Minks, like the people of Wano, the Shandians, the Fishmen. So clearly, eventually, the Nefertari family became allies. You also have the fact that Lily passed down this message from generation to generation, clearly also talking about the will of D and how to potentially go up against the world government, which is why Cobra knows about this stuff in the first place. The fact that there's 19 swords and the Nefertari family are the only family that left, yes, I know, makes it seem like Lily is Emu, but I think that's a curveball. That's a red herring to try to throw people off. It could be maybe it's Lily's brother, Lily's former lover. I know there's not much romance in One Piece, but it could go either one of those ways, or just this manipulating dude behind the scenes this entire time. Doc didn't adjust Game 6. Mazzulla out-adjusted him. No, not necessarily. I think at the end of the day, like, the Celtics are a better team than the 76ers. People put way too much on the coaches. If you look at the predictions before this series started, most people had Philly losing, and probably not in 6. So first of all, it goes 7. Second of all, Doc made his adjustments. It didn't work. It doesn't really work when you throw everybody you can at Jason Tatum and he still drops 51. And then also James Harden was scared to shoot the ball, and Joel Embiid ran out of gas. You can't really adjust for that. I'm not like saying Doc is a great coach. He clearly has issues keeping leads, but I also think way too many people blame coaches, whether it's Doc or Mazzulla, when a lot of these times these players are not showing up and executing or playing with enough effort. Explicitly, the switches onto Embiid for Tatum. Well, Tatum also cooked Tobias Harris. He also cooked Melton. He also cooked PJ Tucker. He dropped 51 on everybody. Jokic is better than Embiid. I think that is clear. That has never been more clear. than ever. Doc Rivers is credential long ago. Championship 2008. We can add arguments. He was carried by good players, Pierce, Garnett, Allen, Rondo. At the same time, if he's like the worst coach ever, he's not gonna have. The man's like top 10 all time in wins as a coach. Is the crazy part. Has never been able to get it done really in the playoffs that much consistently, for sure. But I don't think he's the worst coach in the league, which people make him out to be sometimes. Like, if you give me, like, there's been worse coaches that's come around. Embiid needs to post MVP to Jokic immediately. Oh, man. Yeah, he's getting quite slandered. Were Sai and Leo using Rio? I was so excited and Charlos getting squished like a pancake. I didn't even notice. No, I think that's just a follow through. They knocked his ass and then you see the follow through afterwards. Not one of the best, but how many are one of the best, right? That's my point. There's like 4 of them. It's like 4 or 5 of them. He got a lot out of Tobias and Embiid thrived with him. They still won a lot of games. I think Doc is superb at getting the most out of his players when they're underdogs as well. You know, like he's still won that. He brought this series to 7, which is, more, like I said, more than people thought. More than some people thought it was going to be. Tobias over me. Well, we're going to see today how healthy Jimmy Butler is. Man, I really want to, like, I like, part of me, like, the Celtics, the Celtics, with the level of defense they played against the Sixers, if they play that level of defense, I don't think anybody could beat them. Genuinely. Why? Because their offense actually is good this year. Like, I think so many people overlook that, especially Celtics fans, because our defense has actually been the problem this year. It's not been the same elite defense that carried us all the way to the finals last year. But last year, our problem was offense. Golden State held us under 100 in 4 of our losses. We couldn't score. We kept turning the ball over. That isn't as much of a problem anymore. Jason Tatum's turnovers have gone from last playoff run, 4.3, to this playoff run, 2.2, right? So he's almost halved it. We have more scoring. Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown are more efficient. They're better. Derek White's way better shooter. Malcolm Brogdon is a huge upgrade from Peyton Pritchard. So our offense has been miles better. If we could get back to the level of defense we had last year, which we did these last 2 games against Philly, if we had those 2... Listen, Curry, nobody's going to contain Curry, but you guys averaged like 106, 107 points. Like, that should be enough to win. That's not like a Steph Curry team only averaging like 100 and outside of Curry, like Wiggins showed up pretty consistently, but like Poole was not great in that series. Like Clay was wildly inconsistent. Like he looked pretty cooked in that series as well. Outside of a couple games where he showed up for defense, like the Warriors didn't like drop like 110 plus every game. I think that's where people overlooked it. Mainly because Curry was going off every game. But like the offense as a whole for you guys, like our defense was not a problem. The problem was we kept getting shut out. We couldn't score over 100 points for like 4 of the games, and we lost all 4 of those, and we kept turning the ball over, and it just wasn't consistent enough. If you look at it, our 7th man last year, like Derek White was... Like, we got like 0 points from our bench for the last 3 games. GB2, Otto Porter, Bielitsa, yeah, they hit some shots. They were X factors for sure. Definitely, like, compared to you guys this year, where like you pretty much have nothing outside of Curry and like that one every like one Clay game per series, or you know Wiggins had that one good game, but then he wasn't quite at the same level. Poole regressed in a major way for you guys. But last year, like, our defense was still not a problem. Like, Curry was cooking, yes, but like we still held you guys as a team to like 10. It was usually like 100 to 108, which is not bad at all. We don't even need Game 7 Tatum to be the standard, right? I just need, like, every other game, like, be consistent. If he's consistent there, and like we don't turn the ball, if we don't turn the ball over and we put good effort on defense, I think we should win pretty handily. A healthy Butler is the best player in the Heat Celtics series. Yeah, from what we've seen this run, absolutely. Does it mean Tatum can't get to that next level and outplay him? I don't think so. I think they're close enough where Tatum can get there. But so far, Butler has definitely proven to be the guy that shows up in these, more consistently and in these clutch moments as well. But he's also injured. And he was kind of banged up last year, which is why Jason Tatum played better than him in the entire series. Even though Butler went off for like 2 crazy games, he scored like 6 points another game and like 12 points another game and like missed a half of another game. And Tatum had the better series that year. So if Butler's banged up and can't go to the same level he showed in that Milwaukee series, I think Tatum should be better than him. Yeah, Miami has a lot of heroes out, even though, Hero was out for them last year as well. Plus, he kind of gets picked on defensively. Oladipo, sneaky guy that could have really contributed for them. I don't know. I just feel like if we shut down Miami's 3-point shooting and we don't give them easy buckets by giving offensive rebounds and turnovers, we should be good. He was awful. It was about to be like, I was going to a dark place for that game 6 until he turned it around. Because that was about to be like, wow, Jason Tatum might not really have it. It's like the worst playoff game of his career, coming off a worst series he's ever played in the finals loss. And then we just lost to a Sixers team that we clearly should have beaten, especially with Embiid injured and out in the first game. And like, we just, even with them healthy, I think we're a better team. So that was looking real dark. And then he just turned it around and then we blew them the fuck out in game 7, which I will just say this. Like, usually I'm just happy to move on and respect to the opponents, whatever. I'm not talking shit, but goddamn, did those Sixers fans and that organization cry for that entire fucking series, every game. Oh, the refs, bro. James Harden, like, oh man, in the league, I'm number 1 in missed calls. Doc Rivers out here. Analytically, we won that game by 10 points. I'm just gonna say that. It's impossible to overcome these terrible calls. And then, a couple hours before game 7, they leaked this 1 game sample size where the Celtics got, 8 or 9 more, less incorrect calls out of like 500 plus plays that are reviewed the entire game. And then Doc's like, yeah, it's impossible to overcome this type of shit, like it's always against us. Meanwhile, they're flopping around every game. And then for us to just blow their fucking ass out by like 30 points where there's not even a fucking chance. Okay, they could even blame the refs, which like the refs even favored them earlier in that game. That was just so satisfying because I've never seen an organization from top down, from the general manager leaking the plays to Woj as a mouthpiece, and then the Harden crying, the head coach is crying, both star players are flopping through the entire series. Fucking hell, that was so satisfying to beat those crybabies, bro. Victim ass people, like get your ass out of here, man. LeBron, listen, the Lakers fans are still Lakers fans are still in their feelings about that 1 missed call back. Listen, I know it's a bad missed call. I understand. But like to act like To act like that was the worst call in the history of the NBA that never happened to anybody else. For LeBron to make that Instagram post afterwards, it's like, it's 3 a.m. I'm still up in my bed thinking about what could have been, man. Like, oh, God. I can't believe this is how they're doing this to us, man. The whole league against it. Come on, man. Stop. What are we doing? That shit was so corny as fuck, bro. Come on, man. And I'm not saying it was a bad call. Yeah, it was a fucking terrible call. If I was a fan, I would have said like, yeah, what a fucking terrible call. Would I have been like, yeah, man, the fucking league's out to get us? Like, no, move on, bro. It's one fucking call. Do you know how many? Every team in the league has fucking one call like that against them in the game. Like, it's 82 games for everybody. For him to come be like, oh my God, I'm getting nightmares from this shit. Like, come on. And then Embiid called out his teammates. I do think that was taken out of context a little bit for him. Where like he was kind of like, they took that little segment out of a 20-minute post-game press conference that he gave. It wasn't a great quote that he gave, I'll say that, but I do think it was taken out of context from a little bit. But the Sixers as a whole, they never take accountability, right? It's always like from Daryl Morey since the Rockets days. It was, hey, these Warriors, man, I'm gonna give you this report right now. There's like every single game has been against us, and that's why we're losing. Like it's not the fact you missed like 27 straight 3-pointers. It's the fouls. It's always the fouls. And Embiid, it's Ben Simmons. It's the fouls. It's this, it's that. It's never themselves. From top down, that it's a crybaby victim blaming organization, bro. The process will never make it out of the second round. That's a regular season. Let's get to the finals. LA versus Boston. Nah, man. Fuck the Lakers. I don't want to see them make it to the finals. Some people was just saying that. I've seen some people like, oh, yeah, I want to see LA Boston. No. I'm a Celtics fan. It's been fuck the Lakers since round 1. I hope they get bounced. If they make it to the finals, we'll gladly beat them. But listen, I don't want to see them have any success. I'm not scared. I'm not scared of either team. I think the Nuggets are better. It's just fuck the Lakers, man. That's just how it be. Do I respect the players? Of course. I respect the run they've gone through. It's been a crazy run for them to start the way they started. And then turn it around and to make it all the way to the conference finals. Austin Reeves is playing his ass off. Roy Hachimura completely reinvented himself. Lonnie Walker had himself some crazy games. LeBron doing everything he is doing at age 38 is incredible. AD has been by far the most dominant defensive player in this entire playoff run. So I respect what they're doing. But no, it's fuck the Lakers, bro. I hope y'all get smacked by the Nuggets. Final Four is exciting. Anyone can win it. The Heat. I will say like the Heat are like the Heat making it to the finals and then winning would be insane. That would be the craziest one out of everybody. All right, that is still be the craziest one. For an 8 seed to make it that far, like that would be a crazy run. They would beat the 1 seed in literally the 2 favorites in the East. And for a lot of people, the 2 favorites in the league for most of the season. So I don't know. I feel like the run has to stop at some point. And hopefully we put an end to it. And in a non-stressful way for me. But we'll see. Got a lot of respect for the Heat. I know they're going to be tough as nails. When you guys have a harder time going against the Nuggets than the Lakers, you should want the Nuggets. Yeah, I think the Nuggets are a better team, but it's fuck the Lakers. Like I want to see them fail. I just want to see them fail. We would have home court against either team, so it doesn't make a difference there. The Nuggets, I think, will be a little tougher. I don't think the difference is that monstrous, though. You know? And at the end of the day, the better team's going to win. So whoever comes out is going to be the better team, you know? Hey, y'all need to worry about the Nuggets first, man. Y'all down 0-1. I know a lot of Lakers fans are feeling good after that almost comeback, but you still got beat wire to wire. Ratings on the Lakers Celtics would go crazy though. And ratings already been crazy this run. The Sixers and Celtics went crazy. Curry LeBron went crazy. Even the Sacramento Golden State series went crazy. Adam Silver eating good outside of Ja Wick. I saw somebody mentioned that earlier. Also, how about the draft lottery last night, bro? The fucking Spurs did it again. They got Wembanyama. That's crazy. The Spurs fucking did it again, man. And I saw that thing where the Hornets had the number 2 pick in 4 drafts and it was like Dwight Howard, AD, Shaq, and Wembanyama. Like, that's some bad luck right there, man. Yeah, I was tweeting that too. Pop's not retiring. He's not fucking leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. I'm not fucking going anywhere. It's just the Nuggets. When do they ever win? I mean, they've won a lot of games this season. Can't look at historically. Got a 2-time MVP, number 1 seed. Haven't lost at home. I don't know. That's a tough order there. Yeah, he's going to be a problem if he stays healthy. I wonder how impactful he's going to be in that first year. I think that's like, it's going to be... Like, I already watched some of those games with him and Scoot in the Summer League. That was like a year ago. And he was already looking like he lived up to the expectation, bro. Like, you always see these highlights and, you know, this length and the size and the shooting. You see the highlights. You're like, God damn, that's crazy. But I watched him for 2 games just drop 36, hit threes, block every shot. He was just dominant. I know the NBA is different, but like... Give him a couple years, that guy's going to be a problem. Don't believe Emu is Lily? I don't believe it either, bro. I'm right there with you. How long will the Spurs take to get good? Attract any players? They have Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, Jeremy Shochan's good. They got $36 million in cap space this year. Like, a bunch of picks from now until 28 as well, because they traded away, like, Pirtle and... Murray and White, so like they've been stashing up. Like it kind of all lined up for them. Like I think they could be good pretty soon, especially if Wembanyama is good already next year. Like Vassell and Johnson are good. Sochan with another year under them is gonna be pretty good. Malachi Branham, I think isn't his name, was pretty solid in his first year as well. And they've always developed players well. What are we at? 1 hour and a half. I might wrap things up soon here because we're kind of done talking about the chapter and we're just kind of free flowing now. I gotta get some food. I haven't eaten at all today yet. Got the haircut, came back, and then the chapter was out. Spurs on a Thunder trajectory. Thunder are way ahead though. Like Shea's the same age as Tatum. Like I don't think people realize like Shea's not like. I think a lot of people think Shea is a lot younger because he made this monumental leap in this 1 year, but Shea is the same age as Tatum. Like he's older. They have they still have a fuck ton of picks though. And they're ahead of it. They're ahead of the game for now. Some leftover sushi. I wanted some Popeyes, bro. I might have to go cop some Popeyes. Shea is 19. Stop playing, bro. That's Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum's 19. Suns are just pure comedy. I will say this: Devin Booker, hell of a run, completely ran out of gas in that game 6, but hell of a run. I think this is easily the best he's ever looked. What does this do to LeBron's legacy? I mean, him taking that 3 last night, that was not good for LeBron's legacy. He had Murray on him, who he'd been cooking the entire night. And Murray had 5 fouls, and they were down 3. He just needed to drive, maybe get an and 1 or foul Murray out. At least he was going to get 2. I think they lost the game there. I honestly think that was the moment they lost the game. All right, that's enough basketball talk. I'm looking forward to the game tonight. Some good basketball on every other night now. Great chapter. We'll be back. We'll probably be back next week. It's a break next week, but we'll probably be back just to talk about the chapter and stuff. I will be on Dax Sake's channel this Friday at 2 p.m. EST. So be on the lookout for that. I'll drop a link when it actually goes down in the Discord and the community tab. But hey, good stream as always, everybody. Take care. Peace.